From east to west, we'll watch the tyrants fall. From north and south, we hear our comrades call. Our banners high, our flags will fly, above the heads and hearts of all. Behold the poor, in fear no longer dwell. The workers' song in every soul shall swell. Our banners high, our flags will fly, and every doubt therein expel. The noble youth shall face a future fair. Let freedom rise, let music fill the air. Our banners high, our flag will fly, and may our enemies beware. No more in chains shall every hope be bound. Let our refrain our every foe confound. Our banners high, our flag will fly, in every heart and mind down.
Prologue. Bridget's playing. Bridget O'Brien, age 12, is playing with a balsa wood toy biplane.
Like a giant eagle, the shamrock swoops through the clouds like the Galtee Mountains. The wind howls through the wings of the flimsy machine. Where are we now, Major? What? I said, where are we now, Major? I can't hear you. The wind is howling through the wings of the flimsy machine. I said, where are we now, Major? It looks like the Galtee Mountains. We'll be in Limerick soon. Who's that down there waving? It looks like Bridget O'Brien, Limerick's famous child aviator.
Mother of divine Jesus, if I live to 110, I'm not going drinking with that fella again.
What fella?
Is this Sunday? Would you, for the love and honour of God, just let up with that infernal what?
Major Woods cuts the engine and the shamrock glides silently over the Limerick countryside.
Where is everyone?
Strike.
What?
Strike. They're on strike. Whole town's out. Nothing's moving. Except the plane. The plane's still coming, isn't it?
What do you mean the whole town is out?
Where have you been the last week?
Jesus, don't ask me. If you ever see me with that fella again, call out the night watch.
What fella?
Haley Considine, the drunken sad. He'd drink Walker's distillery dry, so he would. Come on, sissy. We'll have a drink in honour of poor Bobby Byrne who gave his life for Ireland. That was Wednesday. Or was it Tuesday? Wait a second, the whole town can't be on strike. Proclamation. The workers of Limerick assembled in council hereby declare cessation of all work from 5 a.m. on Monday the 14th of April 1919 as a protest against the decision of the British government in compelling them to procure permits to earn their daily bread. That's good, isn't it?
Daily bread. That's in our father.
It is. Cessation of all work. That's a good one.
It'll still come though, won't it? The plane.
What?
The airplane. Putta.
Vroom! Putta. You're right. I heard it.
You heard the plane?
Yes. Vroom! Putta. Overhead the funeral. And we trying to bury that poor man.
What man?
Bobby Byrne, the true blue son of Erin. It was bad enough that they shot him, but then to be flying an aeroplane over his funeral, is there no end to their perfidiousness?
Their what?
Perfidious Albion. What?
Anyway, that's not the plane I'm talking about.
What?
The Shamrock. It'll be the first plane to fly over the Atlantic.
Is that right?
It is. When it gets here, there's a huge cross painted in the field so that Major Woods and Captain Wiley will know where to land. Vroom! Putta, 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 vroom! They say the whole world is watching. Limerick. All the papers are here.
Is that a fact?
The whole town's talking about it. Nellie Quilligan's sister is walking out with the fella from the Royal Air Force.
So?
Well, he says they're after moving 600 gallons of fuel out to Bomber to help the Major on his way.
Lovely. Well, the Major isn't the only one in need of refuelling. I think I'll slip out for a cure.
A what?
A wee drink to get the day started.
Can't.
Why not?
All the pubs are closed.
All of them?
Yes.
Sure, that can't be right.
Nothing's open. There's a strike.
Oh, for the love and honour of God. Would you, for the love and honour of God, would you stop with that damn vroom? Potter, potter, potter.
When all your hope is lying in state, a broken child at heaven's gate, the darkest night, its cold embrace, the soul reward that tempted fate, what light from yonder midnight breaks, the smallest prayer at daylight's wake, the graveyard calls us all to pray, but hush, my darling, heaven can wait. Those we lost and those we've yet to hold, the sacrifice that opens every door. One hero falls, 1,000 more are rising up to bring the dawn. Now those we lost return through heaven's gate, stand by our side, our enemies to face. One hero falls, 1,000,000 more are rising up to take her place.
Daily Bread, Part 1. A dimly lit bakery in Wickham Street. Patrick Dalton, a baker, is kneading bread at a large table. He's wearing a flour-spattered apron. After a beat, his wife, Nell, enters.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
But the shop's closed.
Yes?
And the whole town along with it.
Yes.
So, who's the bread for?
I have a mind to feed the ducks.
Patrick.
Would you have me stop in bed all day? For I'll not. I've made bread here every morning this 40 years, and I'm not minded to give up, and I'll dare them to stop me.
Now, Pat, don't bring any trouble on us.
What trouble?
You know.
Closing the shop is one thing, but I'm damned if I have to shut down the oven. It's not gone cold since my grandfather first lit it, and it will not go cold in my lifetime.
There's much excitement in the town.
Is there? Town's easily excited.
Soldiers everywhere. And the pickets are out, making sure everything stays shut.
Well, I hope the weather stays fine for them.
There's one of them machine gun yokes poking out the window of the boat club. People are queuing up to gawk at it.
Egypts.
They say the strike committee stayed up all night.
That'll be their conscience.
They were planning
Planning what?
how they'll run the town from now on.
A town where there is nothing happening is easily run. It won't last long anyway.
You don't think?
No, no. Grumbling bellies will soon bring people to their knees. Believe me, hunger stopped more revolutions than it ever started. And when the people realise that they can't get their daily bread, they'll do what they have to do.
Maybe.
They'll go back to work, smash the pickets, or worse, break into shops, God forbid.
I'm sure the Soviet have thought of this.
The what?
The Soviet. That's what the papers are calling it. And the strike committee is not denying it. They have the pickets wearing red armbands.
Red armbands, for the love of God, where do they think they are? Moscow! Their comrades in Russia are after making an unmerciful aims of their own country, and if we're not careful, Nell, they'll do the same here.
It's not like that, Pat. This is about the soldiers, is all. They have barricades all over the city, forcing law-abiding citizens to show papers just to go to work. Now, sure, that can't be right.
Well, if they don't like the soldiers, they should do what any self-respecting Irishman would do.
All right, because pikes and guns worked so well in the past. Maybe 'tis the way doing nothing is the best way of doing something.
What does that mean?
Laying down tools might be better than picking up guns. The unions might be onto something.
Unions me arse.
They say that Britain is a nation of shopkeepers, don't they?
So?
Well, maybe we don't have to blow up their shops anymore. Maybe we just have to close them down until they go broke.
Now, what are you gabbling on about, woman? Look around you. Is this an English shop, Nell? No, it's ours. And this bread I'm making, for no one in particular, this is Irish bread. Now, have I thought for a minute that the sight of me feeding it to the ducks would make the King of England come running with a white flag? I might agree with you, but as far as I'm concerned, this strike is all a feckin' cod.
Is it? Would you have people get the permits then? From the military? Our own people? Kitty's from Thomangate. How can she get in here without permission from the army? Edward cycles in from Cratlow at the crack of dawn. Would you have your own workers beholden to the military?
How are they going to feed the people, is all I'm saying.
Well, if everyone sticks together...
Ah, great. Let's all get hungry together. Except the Tommies. They're not Amadons. They'll go back to the barracks each night for a big knock-up and a hearty laugh at our expense.
Maybe the whole country will come out.
How's where?
On strike.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
It's holding fast here anyway. They say everyone's out.
Ah, but this is only the first thing. Mark my words. Won't last.
The pork butchers are out in force. They swear they'll not slaughter a pig in the town until the barricades are gone.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Are we going to have to listen to this shower again, are we? The way the poor butchers go on, you swear to God no one else ever did a day's work in this town.
Well, now, in fairness, the butchers are the backbone of this town.
Oh, so they keep telling us. And I'll ask you this now. So, what does a pork butcher do for sustenance then?
What?
When the poor butcher is off to a rugby match or a novena, what does he have under his oxter?
I don't know. A ham sandwich, I suppose.
A ham, what? Sandwich? Now. What would that be made of again now? Well, there'd be ham. And what else? God, I can't think.
Stop it, you Egypt.
Pork feckin' butcher.
Anyway, I pray to St. Jude the army will back down and no one will get hurt or starve.
I'm worried, Nell, is all. Strike is fine for a day, maybe, as a symbol. A show of strength to threat with a strike with the no end. That will cause no end of hardship. And remember the lockout.
In Dublin.
Yes. Was long drawn out and dirty. We did what we could to help. Larkin himself said that the Limerick people spent more money than anyone else, but they lost in the end and they went back with their caps in their hands and their tails between their legs. I just hope they know what they're doing. This Soviet.
So do I.
Here, give me a hand with this. If nothing else, we'll have the best fed ducks in Ireland.
Blackout. On the wall are projected the words Limerick, famous all over the world for the quality of its bacon, will at the present rate soon be without the morning rasher. The Irish Independent, 19th of April, 1919. Part 2, the bakery as before, now the following day. Patrick is still behind his table, but without his apron. He's looking at a card in his hand. Outside the table stands James Carr in a three-piece suit. Some way off stand two workers with red armbands.
So, I'm open today, am I?
Yes, if you place that card in your window.
Open by authority of the strike committee now. And who might you be?
James Carr, head of the Workers' Food Commission.
Food commission, now that sounds important.
It is.
Is the strike over then?
No, ma'am. It's just certain businesses can open for a set time to ensure people can get the essentials. So, butchers, bakers.
Candlestick makers?
No, coal merchants.
Oh, so you're in charge of supplies?
I am.
Good. I've only flour enough for 2 days.
Right.
3 at the most.
Well, there's a Canadian ship and the dock's full of grain. The dockers don't touch it without our say so, but we might say so. Either way, I'll make sure you get enough flour to stay open.
And what if I don't?
Don't what?
Open.
Patrick.
I'm just asking.
You have to open. There's a queue outside.
There was a queue outside yesterday.
Mr. Dalton, the city is currently under the control of a committee of workers.
Is it?
Yeah?
Elected by whom?
The Trades and Labour Council represents the workers of Limerick. It has done since 1905.
Oh, is that right?
It is. General Griffin, on the other hand, represents the King of England. Now, who would you rather take orders from?
Neither, to be honest.
Pat, can't you just open the shop?
I can. But I'd rather to put up a notice that says, open by permission of Patrick Dalton.
Mr. Dalton?
What did the Chamber of Commerce think of all this?
Who?
The Chamber of Commerce.
I don't know.
They've not been consulted?
No.
And the clergy?
The same.
Oh, I see. It's just the workers then.
Mr. Dalton, if we're not prepared to be beholden to the military, we're not minded to seek the permission of the bosses or the priests, are we?
No, I expect not. But wouldn't a grand coalition have been better? All sides singing from the same sheet.
There wasn't time.
Wasn't there? Well, ye were quick out of the traps, I'll give you that. With your proclamation.
We have our own printers. We'll be printing our own newspaper by and by to let the town know what's happening. The people are on our side, Mr. Dalton.
Yeah, some of the people.
14,000 of the people. That's how many are on strike.
James, the crowd are getting restless.
Mr. Dalton, the shop.
All right then. Let's get the shutters down.
We need to talk about prices.
Prices.
Yeah.
What prices?
A full loaf will be a shilling, a half loaf, 6pence.
Say that again.
A full loaf will be a shilling, a half loaf, 6pence. It's been decided. The prices are posted up all over town.
God, you're getting great mileage out of that printing press. Half loaf was 8 pence last week. A loaf was 1 and 6.
Last week, Limerick wasn't a workers' republic.
No, and it won't be next week either. What about my profit?
There's plenty of profit in a shilling loaf. And an extra 6pence in the poor man's pocket. He can spend that here or somewhere else.
Well, that's good, because we'll all be in the poorhouse by the week's end.
All the creameries are closed, Mr. Dalton. Do you know what that means?
Babies crying with hunger, I expect.
No. This morning, farmers came to the edge of town and sold their milk direct to the people. Direct to the people. And at half the price it was last week.
Is that true?
It is, ma'am. And they'll do the same tomorrow. Maybe 'tis the way profit isn't such a necessity after all.
So this is what this is all about, huh? Not the military.
It's about both. You're a baker, Mr. Dalton. You should be making bread, not profit.
I like to make both. But there's a war on profit now, is there?
No, not profit maybe, but greed, definitely.
Greed! Greed! I have a book back there, the size of a butcher's slab, penciled columns of names and money owed. People take their bread when their bellies are empty, Mr. Carr, and pay me when their pockets aren't. And I ask no questions.
We run a fair house here, Mr. Carr. Ask anyone. And if a woman's husband is lost in France, or can't get a start, or was taken by the flu, we'll not see her children hungry, whatever it costs
I
us.
believe you, ma'am. But these are different times.
Different in what way?
There aren't those English soldiers on every bridge.
No. But they're always somewhere.
Yes, but if we all stand together, we might be sure of them once and for all. You see, it isn't every day that ordinary people can stand against the military. Ordinary people, Mr. Dalton. These aren't fellas with guns or politicians or posh poets. These are just people like you and me. See, this is different. And all you have to do to be part of it is open up that door and sell a loaf of bread for a shilling.
He's right, Pat. We can take a cut, for now anyway, to help the cause. We should all stick together.
For now.
Give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
As we forgive those who trespass against us,
But lead us not into temptation.
but deliver us from every evil.
Make sure you get your flour.
Fucking unions.
Blackout. On the wall, the following words are projected. While the food question seems to be solved for the present, the question of money is causing anxiety to many families. The Irish Times, 21st of April, 1919. Part 3. The bakery as before, a few days later.
Read it to me again.
The workers of Limerick promised to pay the bearer 10 shillings.
And what does that mean?
It's money.
Money.
Money. Yes, their own money. Our money. Limerick money.
What? And they just printed it themselves, did they? Wow. Just like that.
Yes. You have to admit, it's audacious.
It's a bloody cheek is what it is.
It's a slap in the face to the British Empire, more like. Just imagine it. Our own currency. Except we don't have to manage it. This is it.
And now, don't be losing the run of yourself, woman, huh? This isn't worth the paper it's written on.
It is. They have the resources to back it up.
What resources?
They say there's a help pouring in from all over the country and the promise of money from the English Union.
Promises. How much flour can we buy with promises?
Is any money only a promise?
No. Money is money. I know proper money when I see it. And I know a worthless scrap of paper too.
Look, take the pound in your pocket.
I haven't got a pound in my pocket. This strike has me feckin' robbed.
Well, take the 10 shilling note then. What's that worth?
What?
Your 10 shilling note. What's that worth?
Well, that's a hard one now. Now, let me think now. Oh. 10 shillings, maybe.
Yes, but it's not the piece of paper that's worth that, is it? No, it's what the paper represents.
And what does that scrap of paper represent?
confidence, independence.
Well, you might have confidence in it, Nell, but I don't. And give me the king's shilling any day.
The king and his shilling have had their day.
Oh, I wouldn't be too sure about that. The king saw off the Kaiser, and he'll see off these lads too, and their red armbands won't be much protection.
This is big, Pat. Huge. In the whole history of Ireland, when did we ever issue our own money? Sure, the rebels and the GPO didn't issue as much as a postage stamp.
I know, they had more pressing matters.
Still, Limerick's ahead of them on that score.
So, is this the future then? The Soviet shilling?
For now, yes. When the strike is over, these can be exchanged at the Mechanics Institute.
Oh, right. And for what? Magic beans?
Oh, for real money.
Ah, so that isn't real money then.
It's as real as any money can be. And we have plenty of it.
Well, give it here. I'll put it in the safe.
I thought you said it wasn't worth the paper it was printed on.
It's not, but I'll not take chances either, with the whole world turned upside down. Maybe I should start baking coins.
Blackout. On the wall, the following is projected. Limerick strikers issue own money. New York Herald. Part 4. The bakery as before, a few days later. Kate, in a wedding dress, is standing on a chair. Nell is pinning up the dress. A little way off, Patrick is sitting reading the Limerick Leader. Bridget is there too, with her plate.
It's a lovely dress, Kate. There's no doubt about that.
Don't want to be. Cost me 3 guineas. With all the dresses in Canucks, she goes and picks the dearest one.
Patrick.
So I'm just saying.
Well, the next time you think of something stupid, don't say it.
Major Woods, land.
Would you get that filthy yoke off the table?
And takes off again, heading for America.
Should you not be in your own house?
Patrick.
My father went to England, and my mum went to make the airplanes.
Bridget, you're welcome here any time and pay him no heed. Arm up, love. That's it.
You look like that statue, the one in New York.
Am I doing the right thing?
Yes, just stay like that for a minute.
No, I mean in getting married.
Sure, what else would you do?
Work?
You already work.
Yeah, but I'll have to stop.
Pity about you, having to give up work. Would you rather be like your mother, snorting flour all the days of your life? No, you're just getting cold feet, that's all.
Well, she'd want to warm her feet up fairly lively. That dress is bought, the cake's made, the band's booked, and cruise is paid for. And either she'll marry Comerford or I'll marry him myself.
A good husband will give you a good life, or so they tell me. And besides looking like Douglas Fairbanks, Mr. Comerford is a good man with prospects. You've done well.
But what if there was something else?
What else?
You'd look great in that dress, Kate.
Will you shut up?
Did you have doubts before your wedding?
Mother of God, now what sort of a question is that?
Did you?
You laugh when I tell you this. Okay? I told no one. And you, cover your ears.
Nell, enough.
What?
Nell,
This time she knew, Pat. And besides, I wasn't the first, and I won't be the last.
What?
The morning I married that baker, I had a bun in the oven.
So?
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Does that mean what I think it does?
You were at our wedding.
For the love and honour of God, well, tell the whole parish. Why don't you?
I've only told our daughter.
Yeah, and that owns you with the aeroplane. We'll be in the leader next week.
Oh, just calm down, will you?
Ah!
Very little in life is certain. Did I have doubts? Yes. And I'd not have it any other way. Your father's no Douglas Fairbanks, nor a saint, or any class of a hero. But he's a good man, and that's half the battle. We fall out, we make up, we make bread, we make do. Every once in a blue moon, we make love. But there's many have it a lot worse than me. Now, you get out of that dress and I'll make us a nice cup of tea.
White Star Line, fastest crossing Queenstown to New York.
Shh!
See their runs in the darkest fall, reach the coldest war of all as those in charge play their part, sail their ark to the 19th century. These great pretenders to the throne throw all their toys and gauntlets down and start, break our hearts. But those in charge have a way of shaking us. Those inside have it all to hide. If it's death or life, let the Tao decide. They can break our bones, they can change our minds. As they turn away from the souls implied. Through the stars that shine are the warning signs. Is the truth arose in the drip feet find. And we know their hearts and we know their slip. And we know the sound of a sinking ship. You on? Whose side are 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 you? Inside have it all. Whose side are you? Get all out like the down. Whose side are you? Break our bonds, change our side are you? Turn away from the souls. Whose side are you? Stars that shine on the warning. Whose side are you? The roads in a drip. Whose side are you? We know their hearts and we know their slave. We know the sound of a sinking ship.
Telegraph room. The telegraph room of the GPO Limerick, April 1919. Private Harry Lumley, a young English Tommy in a khaki uniform, is sitting on a chair, his rifle by his side. At a table on which we see some telegraph equipment sits Kathleen Connell. She's knitting. He is reading the Limerick Leader, which is emblazoned with the words, published with the permission of the Strike Committee.
Published by permission of the Strike Committee. Ain't that a laugh? Who exactly is in charge of this town? That's my question. What bugger if I know? Oh, begging your pardon, Mum. There are hundreds of Tommies in the street, right? Armed to the teeth. Martial law declared, and nobody taking a bloody bit of notice of us. Meanwhile, there's dozens of fellas in red armbands running around, handing out permits and putting on posters as if they had shares in a bloody paper mill. Met a chap the other day. Yeah, this will give you a laugh, right? He were a Yank, right? Had to get a permit from our crowd to get into the city, and then had to get a permit from your crowd to get out. he said he'd never seen the like of it. And do you know I'd never seen the like of it either. And I've been around. Well, when I say I've been around, I mean I've been to Middlesbrough, you know.
These are interesting times.
Oh, interesting times, no mistake. Fancy that? Duffy's Circus, Market's Field, Easter Monday. I wonder who'll get the elephantist permit. Us or them. Never been to the circus.
Have they no circuses where you're from?
No.
Where do you come from?
Craighead.
Where's that?
Do you know Stockton-on-Tees?
No.
Well, Hartlepool.
No.
At Darlington.
No.
But it's near all them places anyway.
Is it nice? Craighead?
Up until now, Craig's Head and nice have not been in the same sentence. It's small. Apart from the rumble of the coal wagons, not a lot happens. Men work, go home, wash the coal dust off, go to bed, get up, do it all over again.
Doesn't sound like you like it.
I expect I don't. Apart from the band.
Band?
Colliery band. Bass drum, that was me.
My son was in St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, like a choir.
No, fife and drum band. Bass drum. That was him.
Fancy that. Me and him should get together, yeah. I'll bet we'd beat out a right good tattoo. Yeah. Difficult times we're living in. There's no mistake about it.
What's your name?
Henry. Henry Lumley. But my mum calls me Harry.
Harry. Well, I'm Kathleen.
Oh, pleased to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
This is the telegraph office, right?
Yes, Mum.
I'm a reporter with the Chicago Tribune.
In Chicago.
Do you know Finbar Cregan?
Who?
Finbar Cregan. He lives in Chicago.
No. I have a story to file. I need to send a telegraph to Chicago.
Oh, sorry, Mum. Under the Defence of the Ram Act, all communiques leaving the prescribed area have to be approved by General Griffin. You'll find him in O'Connell Street.
You'll need to get permission from the strike committee. Once you have that, I'll send your story, not bother.
Well, which is it?
Under the Defence of the Ram Act, all communiques have to be approved by General Griffin.
Do you mind him, pet? Go down to the Science Institute and they'll sort you out. Once they have, you come back here to me.
This country.
Whose side are you on?
Whose side are you on?
Me. Well, I'm a soldier, you know. I do what I'm told. Now, head down, nose clean. That's how Harry gets by. I'm on the side that pays my wages.
Is that how you survived France? Head down?
I wasn't in France.
Turkey then?
No, wasn't there either.
Where?
Craig's Head. Head down, all right? Down the bloody mine. I tried to join up, but they wouldn't have me. Digging coal were more valuable than digging, apparently.
Some fellas have all the luck.
Well, not me. I already did do me bit, you know. 12 lads from our village went. 4 came back, but I still wanted to go.
And what did your mother want?
My mum.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, did she want you shivering in a trench or in a tub in front of the fire washing off the coal dust?
What did I? Didn't ask her.
Of course you didn't. No one ever does.
I joined up as soon as they'd had me. Then they sent me to this kid. Bloody hell, more likely to die of boredom.
Sorry for your troubles.
This strike's a bit of a palaver, isn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, like, workers pretending to be in charge of everything.
They are in charge of everything.
For now. Order will be restored, you'll see.
Order? Where's the disorder? I mean, the city's more orderly than 10 o'clock mass at the Franciscans.
Oh, well, that sounds like fun.
Do you know what happened the day before yesterday?
No, but you're probably going to tell me.
500 lads and lassies skedaddled out to Carradavin to a hurling match. When it was finished, they marched into Sarsfield Bridge singing the red flag and chanting. Your shower was right in rattles.
Were they?
Oh, they were. That tank yoke trundled up and they shoved the machine gun out the window of the boat club. And the 50 peelers ran down from William Street with the battens drawn. And what did the strikers do?
Dunno.
Laughed at them. That's what. And told them to shove their permits. And then, after spending the night with the good people at Thomangate, they got up yesterday morning, hopped on a train out the long pavement, and 6 minutes later they were above at the station, where they all jumped off the train and scattered to the four winds.
Wonderful.
All that without a single bullet, not a single permit between them. And you know, there wasn't a blessed thing the entire British Empire could do about it.
Well, I'm glad people are having a big laugh and not a tap of work being done, yeah? They should just get their permits and go do their ruddy jobs, lazy sods. No, worse than lazy. Bloody Bolsheviks.
Why should ordinary workers have to get permits to go to work?
Well, ask your friends in Sinn they started it.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Shot a policeman, they did.
Only after the police shot a poor man lying in a hospital.
The poor man was a prisoner trying to escape.
He was in a hospital bed.
No, he was trying to escape from his hospital bed, helped by about 20 of his cronies. And by the way, he wouldn't have been in that bed if he hadn't gone on hunger strike.
And why was he on hunger strike?
Search me.
Because he was a political prisoner.
Political prisoner? A prisoner's a prisoner.
No, yeah, a prisoner is a prisoner, but a fellow willing to fight to free his country, well, he's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Fight to free his country? Don't make me laugh. This isn't Belgium. I'm not a Hun.
No, you're from Craig's Head. And I might have a clue where that is, but I know one thing. It isn't Ireland. He used to sit there, you know, where you're sitting now.
Who?
Bobby Byrne, the man who was shot.
Trying to escape.
Trying to escape. He was a telegraphist, like me, and a union man.
What was he like?
He's quiet. A good man. Kind, you know, a good son, good brother. He liked to dance.
What about the policeman?
What about him?
What did he like to do?
I didn't know him.
Well, I expect he liked to do things too, before he was shot.
I expect so.
Trying to escape? But why didn't he just
Just what? Lie there? Maybe we all do too much lying there. But let's face it. We're all trying to escape something. That's my son. In France. 1915 that was. The Germans put a stop to his drumming.
Oh,
Put a stop to his everything.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mum. Blimey, there was me going on about the strike, and you were the son was one of us.
He wasn't a soldier.
But I thought when you said Germans.
He was an airman.
Oh,
Not a pilot, a mechanic. He could turn his hand to any engine. He was a gunner too, and a good one. He got the Distinguished Conduct Medal. He was shot down near Ypres and buried in Pas de Calais, wherever that is. I don't expect I'll ever see it.
like I said, I'm sorry to hear that, Mum.
Thank you.
Well, he were handsome. They say women like to see a man in uniform.
Not true. Flighty young ones maybe, but mothers, not so much. You know, they banned soldiers having cameras at the front.
I know.
Do you know why?
I mean, he got it was a death and injury.
No! Too many pictures of football matches in no man's land. You see, there was a truce for the first Christmas, not an official one, mind. Just a few hundred lads from different countries deciding to stop shooting each other for a few days.
Well, yes, I remember.
Well, the photos started landing back in England of Tommies and Gunters singing songs and sipping tea. Well, that put the wind up the Ministry of Defence fairly lively. You see, it's not war they're afraid of. It's peace. War they thrive on.
That's daft.
Is it?
Yes. Nobody wants war.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Well, you know that factory across the river?
With the chimney sacks.
Yeah. How much money do you think they made in the last 5 years supplying powdered milk to fellas dressed like you?
Dunno.
£1 million.
No.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot of milk.
There was a lot of war. Bullets, tanks, guns, planes, bully beef, powdered milk. Somebody has to make them.
Well, true.
And every time a trigger is pulled, it shoots a shilling into someone's pocket. Not in the cottages of Craighead, mind, or in the tenements up on Broad Street. No, the big houses. Big houses in London, Frankfurt, Istanbul, even out the Ennis Road. See, it doesn't matter what side you're on, profit is profit. And as long as you're in the game, that's all that matters. And it is a game. Do you know the king, the Tsar, the Kaiser used to play together when they were children? Cousins, you see. Cousins. It's all just a bloody game to them and their cronies. But imagine if we refuse to play.
How do you mean?
Imagine the next time your man points out from a poster and says, your country needs you. Fellas like you said, me mother needs me more.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Wouldn't it?
Well, no, because everyone would have to do it. Everyone together.
Then why doesn't everybody do it?
They're not organised for a start.
Organised? Like what? Like a union? You were in a union, weren't you?
National Union of Mine Workers. A big one.
Well, imagine if a union stood up to the military. Imagine ordinary people, unarmed and unafraid, standing up to the might of the British Empire. Imagine the poor man standing up to the bosses, to profiteering, conscription. Imagine ordinary people standing up against all that's wrong with the world.
Well, that I'd like to see.
Then open the fucking window, Harry. What? Out there. There is an independent workers' republic. Out there, ordinary people are writing headlines across the world by making an entire empire irrelevant and not a single bullet fired. I know. It won't last. At least not for long. The bosses, the bishops, the bully boys, they'll get to us in the end just like they always do. But maybe, just maybe, in 100 years' time, people will look back at this and say, this is the best we've ever been. So I'll ask you again, Harry. Whose side are you on? The bearer, Ruth Russell, of the Chicago Tribune, is working under the authority of the Strike Committee, and as such is permitted to avail of the telegraphic services of the General Post Offices. Signed, John Cronin, Chairman of the Strike Committee, Mechanics Institute.
For a brief second, Harry's rifle is pointed at Ruth.
I'm going to stretch my legs. Ladies.
Fire ahead.
Limerick, April 21st.
Kathleen begins tapping out the message on the telegraph machine.
The general strike at Limerick, with its food distribution network and its own currency, has seen ordinary workers take on the might of the British Empire in a show of workers' defiance and organisation not seen anywhere else outside of Russia. Whether or not it marks a new era in the ongoing struggle for Irish independence remains to be seen.
Cleves girls. Large, nearly empty room in Cleves factory. There are just a few crates and barrels and a pile of sacks. Kate enters.
Kate. You came. You came. I wasn't sure you would. Neither was I. The pickets came through the quarry. You? I said I had to collect my coat. Good. Why here? I knew it would be empty, because the whole town's on the streets. So. No, it's exciting. Is it? Yeah, isn't it? No. Frightening, more like. No. It is. Soldiers on every corner, pickets at every door, and no one knows what'll happen. Something big, stern. There's a thing outside Spillans, a sort of a wagon with guns. A tank, they call it. Do they? No one. Mick Malone says he saw one in France. Ran over Germans like they were beetles. It's horrid. Come here. That's what we should call ourselves. What? Wagons with guns.
If we could get guns.
I don't want a gun.
I do. I want to be part of it. Now that things are stirring. That's you all out, Sally.
Only happy causing trouble.
I went into town last night.
Town?
Yeah,
How? You've no permit.
by boat. 2 lads from Clunes Lane took me across stinking fish other than the monopoly.
Sally, be careful.
I'll be grand. I went up to the mechanics.
And?
There were 2 fellas at the door wearing red armbands.
Pickets.
Yeah, fine buckles. Garden Strike headquarters. I had an open my gob when one of them says, the women are downstairs making tea. Grand, says I. Splash milk and 2 sugars and got up in the committee room. And with that, I slipped in between them.
Sally, you're a scream.
I had my foot on the bottom of the step of the stairs and one of them grabbed me by the arm and swung me round. Official union officials only, says he. Cheek. I lost my job for the union, says I. What did you ever do? Johnny come lately. With that, him and his comrade flung me down the steps.
Yeah, you're better off keeping out of that business.
Why? Because I don't have a Mickey?
Sally.
I want to help. No, not help. I want to organise. I can organise. I want to be at the heart of it. Now that things are stirring, I want to be part of things, not gaping in from the outside. And why shouldn't I?
Well, look what happened the last time.
Nothing would have happened the last time if the other girls had stood with me.
Yeah, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. But they should have. Paid a pittance they were. We were. And us working 8:30 to 6, 6 days a week.
Yeah, I know, you told me.
Join the union, I said. And we did. He didn't like that, the manager. Feckin'.
Yeah, I know. I read all about it in the bottom dog.
An increase of 5 bob is all we were asking. Right, says the manager. I'll give you 2 and 6, but you'll have to leave the union. So they did. All of them.
Except you?
Except me. I stick to my guns, me.
You do?
Have my principles.
You have? No job, but principles.
The girls took the 2 and 6. But you're without a union. Your man can take that back off him at the drop of a hat. I'm sick of having to say it. The union, Kate. It's the only way.
There are trade guilds.
Not for girls, there aren't. Besides, guilds are all very well, but imagine one big union. One big union, Kate. Sure, we'd be unstoppable.
Yeah.
In Russia, 'tis the workers are in charge.
This isn't Russia, thanks be to God. And you know, Father O'Brien was saying
would you
that...
not be listening to Father O'Brien? There's an old lady called Molly. Lives in the attic at Todd's. Paid 8 shillings a week to make mattresses. Bradley Welch told me
Sorry,
about
I
her.
really don't want
She's been there ever since her husband died. God knows how many years ago. Living in squalor. Working her twisted fingers to the bone. And for what? So that the quality out in the Ennis Road can sleep easy in their soft beds. Does Father O'Brien give a hoot whether that woman lives or dies? No. But he has plenty of breath for the Russians.
Too much sometimes, Sally.
Am I? You were at the rally last year, weren't you?
Which one?
In the Markets Field?
Yeah.
We sent fraternal greetings to the comrades in Russia, congratulating them on their great victory.
Yeah. That was a good day. With marching bands and banners.
It was. It was all talk. What sort of revolution is women making tea?
This isn't a revolution, Sally. It's just a strike. And not only that, but it isn't a strike against the military. Only the bosses.
It could be a revolution. Don't you see, Kate? This could be anything we want it to be. As long as we all stick together, the start is something big. Real big. Freedom. Proper freedom. Not just from England, but from poverty, from the past, the bosses, the priests, from everything. From shame. Imagine that. But first, We have to seize the moment.
Dad says it won't last.
Your dad says a lot of things. So, this is where you work.
No, not right here. Crossing the office.
Counting all the cleaves, toffee money.
Something like that.
Typing letters, filing files. Take a letter of start.
Nobody says that.
Not even the lovely Mr. Comerford.
Don't.
The lovely Mr. Comerford. With his bowler hat and his brolly and his perfect moustache.
Stop.
Like Douglas Fairbanks, with a Cork accent.
I'm going to go.
Wait. I'm only messing. Fair play to you anyway.
Who?
Cleaves. The workers here. You were the first factory to come out.
Yeah, well, we had to. Most of the girls live in town, so they have to get across the bridge to come to work. And why should they have to get permission? Why should anyone?
Exactly.
Especially from the British military.
Especially from the British military. Gowns.
Sally,
What?
your language.
Sorry. Were there no gowns in Lord Hill? I bet there were.
Sally.
Sorry if I'm not possible for you.
It's not that, it's just, it's not.
Not Ross. Ladylike.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I should know my place. Been told that since I was 4.
Sally, the reason I asked you here,
Yeah, why are we here?
I've something to tell you.
So do I. I've something to tell you.
You go first.
No, you go.
Go on.
You first. I'm
I'm
going to
getting married.
Married?
America.
Didn't think it was serious.
He's a good man.
He's from fucking Cork.
Well, he'd give me a home. A family, maybe.
Well, what'll you give him? The lovely Mr. Comerford. Love, honour, obedience.
Stop it.
The worker is the slave of the capitalist society. The female worker is the slave of that slave.
Where'd you get them words?
James Connolly.
America.
Yeah. New York. There's nothing here for me. I'm right about that, aren't I?
I thought you wanted to be part of things.
It's just talk. There's no way in for the likes of me. Around here, a woman making a stand is a woman making a nuisance of herself. Oh, woman making tea. Oh, now. That's a useful commodity. Well, I'm not sure that's a country worth fighting for.
And things are different in America.
Maybe. We'll find out. Better than getting married, anyway.
Thanks.
What do you expect me to say?
I'm happy for you, Sally.
Are you?
Yeah. You'll do well in America. You could be anything you want. Really, you could. A film star even, like with Douglas Fairbanks.
I just want to be myself. You could be too.
No,
Come with me, Kate.
no. It's not me.
It's more you than you think.
No. Don't.
Sweet mother of divine Jesus, what time is it? Stop. Would you credit that? Even my watch is on strike. Oh, Jesus, my feckin' head. It's like the Battle of the Salmon there. Oh, boom, boom. Cease fire for the love and honour of Jesus. Is the strike over?
No.
Oh, thank God. We're there to sleep through the revolution. Happy to do my bit. You're, could either of ye ladies oblige me with the butt of a cigarette?
No.
Not enough?
Let's go. Kate.
Fine kind of a girl. I was 10 years younger and a few more teeth in my head. I'd throw my hat in the ring. Casually stepping out with one of the managers. Comerford by name. Nice lad. He's from Kerry.
Cork.
Is it? Still. Nice lad. Looks a bit like what's his name from the films.
Quasimodo.
No, Douglas Fairbanks, that's him. And what about yourself?
What about me?
Scores of admirers, I'd say you have.
Not really.
One in particular then?
No.
Oh, good. You're in the market, so to speak. Could I interest you in a stroll down in Barrington's Pier, just a pair of us?
No, thanks.
There's not much else happening.
Thanks, but no.
No, right, yeah, fair enough. Maybe to the Coliseum when the pictures start again?
No.
Right, no. Suit yourself. If you like dancing, there's one around Easter.
Fuck off!
No, right, fair enough, point taken. Still, no harm in asking. A dumb priest never got a parish, as the man says. This strike, do you think it'll amount to anything?
Probably not.
No, probably not. Still, they have to do something. Couldn't let the bastards get away with it, could they? Not right having to kowtow to the English, I mean. This is our town. An Irish town. Always was and always will be.
Except for the Vikings.
What?
The Vikings. It used to be a Viking town.
Fair enough. But apart from the Vikings, this has and always will be an Irish town.
Except for when the Normans had.
Will you just... Will you let a man talk? Well, where was I?
It's an Irish town.
Yeah. So, I ask you, why should we have to traipse down to O'Connell Street and explain ourselves to a British officer?
We should.
Exactly. Major Griffin, he can shove his permits up his arse, so he can. And I'd be the boy out to tell him. If I ever met him face to face, mashallah. It will take more than an offence against the Realm Act to bring this town to its knees, and all because of what? Because we gave a good send-off to a fallen hero. God be good to him. And who murdered him? Huh? I ask you, who murdered him?
There's a rumour going around it was a stray bullet from one of his own crowd.
Wait! No! That's a scurrilous lie, so it is. I ask you, is there no depth to which perfidious Albion will not go to sing and to blacken the names of the true sons of Erin?
Probably not.
Bobby Bourne died for Ireland, and let no one else tell you otherwise. And dying for Ireland, by the way, is a fate any Irishman will happily face when it comes to time. If you follow my meaning.
You and the volunteers.
It's not information I'm at liberty to divulge.
Do you have a gun?
Well, I'm not actually in a volunteer per se, you know, because of my leg. But there's no doubt which side I'm on. Ask anyone in this town. Ask them which side Billy Sheehan is on, and they'll put you straight, so they will. If ever a man is called upon to lay down his life for Ireland, make no mistake, I'll be that man standing right behind him.
We need more people like you.
No, you said it, huh? It was a good send-off nonetheless, what?
Was.
There was clergy there from from every parish in the city and volunteers from 4 counties and marching.
And coming to man.
And coming to man. Nothing annoys the English more than to see Irish fellas marching. The mayor and the corporation and all their regalia and the crowd. Oh, you'd not see the like of it at a Corpus Christi procession.
No one does martyrdom like the Irish.
No one. The fools. They've left us Arfenian dead. As the fella said. Jesus, when you think about what they did to that poor man.
Which man?
Bobby Bourne. The pride of his boots and his clothes, handcuffed and beaten by bully boys and all because he wouldn't submit to be called a common criminal. When his only crime, if a crime there be, is that of standing up for his own country. 'Tis no wonder he went on hunger strike. And then to be shot on the threshold of a daring escape. Oh, Ireland. Mother Ireland. How much more do we have to suffer?
A lot, I'd say.
And did you hear the aeroplane?
You couldn't miss it?
I ask you, flying an aeroplane up and down overhead a funeral, have they no respect?
Some of the military saluted the coffin.
They did. I'll grant them that. The soldier always recognises a fallen comrade from the other side, but an aeroplane over a funeral? I'm getting a weakness just thinking about it. Is there not one pub open? No. What class of a revolution has no drink?
It's not a revolution. It's a strike.
Yeah, I suppose. Come here. Wouldn't it be gas if the whole country came out?
Came out?
A general strike, like they did against conscription.
That was just one day.
Ah, yeah. Oh, but it frightened the shite out of Dublin Castle. They backed down fairly quick. Imagine if this was just the start of it. If the whole country rose up. Not another rising, but a strike, a national strike. Oh, that'd be something.
It would. If it ever happened.
Oh, it might.
It won't.
It could.
No. Not the whole country. Sure. Dublin will do its own thing anyway. Always does. Look at the rising. On again, off again. Right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing.
Will you not be speaking ill of the dead?
There's no speaking ill about it. It's just a fact. All our revolutions are the same. Division, confusion, and last-minute cancellation, followed by a cancellation of the cancellation. There'll be a bunch of poets in a room with a grand plan that they forget to tell the rest of us about.
Here.
It's always the same. A handful of heroes marching to their deaths, and the rest of the country finding out about it in the papers. And worse still, not caring. This country always has one hand saluting, while the other hand is scratching its arse.
Will you stop?
You know as well as I do, this country couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery.
Will you not be talking about drink? I've forgotten me like an Arab sandal.
And what about when we do get our freedom, huh? What then? They'll be playing a nation once again while they're painting the post boxes green. And then what?
Who ate your bun?
I'll tell you what. Poor old Molly will still be shivering in the attic at Todd's making mattresses for rich people, that's what. Our one and only hope died strapped to a chair in the breaker's yard of Kilmainham. Since then, it's every man for himself. And every woman making tea. Since then, everywhere looks better than here. Good day to you.
Who are you?
Don't mind me. I'm just a nuisance.
There. This place is supposed to be empty.
I was just having a lie down.
Well, for some people, here, take an armband. Follow us.
Fair enough. Comrade.
I've broken my hand on your grasp. I've broken my strength on your steel. I've sweated through years for your pleasure, and I've worked like a slave at your wheel. And what is this wage you have paid me, you masters and drivers of men? Enough, so I come in my hunger to beg for more labor again. And I've built you the world in its beauty. I've brought you the glory and spoil. You've lighted my sons and my daughters, and you stirred me again to my toil. You've shut off my eyes from the sunlight, and my lungs from the untainted air. You have housed me in horrible places. You spent and you crushed me, surrounded by squalor and care. Yet I suffer all in my patience, for somehow I blindly and dimly have known that on one day the worker will rise up and conquer a world that was meant for his own.
Committee Room, Part 1. The dimly lit committee room in the Mechanics Institute, April 1919. A long black scratched table runs up the middle of the space. Several mismatched chairs flank the table. An old typewriter sits at one end of the table, surrounded by piles of paper, leaflets, and proclamations. We hear the hubbub of excitement from a nearby room. After a beat, John Cronin, James Casey, and Jim Parr, three mustachioed men in three-piece suits, enter with a number of other Soviet members.
Close the door. Well, all out. Everyone.
Everyone.
Jesus.
Proclamation was up at 5 this morning. Word spread like clack through the barracks.
The distillery.
Out.
Clothing factory.
Empty.
Madison's.
Shut.
O'Mara's.
All the bacon factories were silent.
The tannery.
Closed.
Cleves.
Actually, they were the first out. They came out yesterday. There must be 12, maybe 14,000 people marching on the street.
Jesus.
The Tommies are on their bridges, but they're mostly idle. Only a handful of people got their permits. Apart from the odd rat scurrying around the granary, nothing's done.
We did it, John. Homes at a standstill.
Christ.
We have them by. We have them by the barracks.
Jesus.
And all we do is squeeze.
Who was with us?
Well, the clergy are divided. Some for, some against.
The bishop.
He's not spoken. We caught him on the hop.
Yeah, we caught everyone, John. The bosses have no choice now but to fall in behind us.
The mayor says he won't get a permit. He lives out the endless road, but swears he's not crossing the bridge until the barricades are gone. He's after booking into cruises.
That is well for some. Fair play to him.
But there's great excitement on the street. People saying something big is brewing.
This is big. Biggest thing we've ever done. It's like the lockout, except we started it.
What now, John? John? What's our next move?
Getting people out is one thing. Keeping them out will be the hard part. 14,000 people with nothing to do. Jesus, anything could happen.
It's been done before. Remember the Soviet in Monaghan in January?
What, in the asylum?
Yeah. The workers took over the place, hoisted the red flag, and ran the place like clockwork. 2 weeks later, they'd get everything they wanted, everything. A 56-hour week and a 10-shilling war bonus. We can do this, John, if we just hold our nerve.
Monaghan Asylum and Limerick City are two very different things.
I don't know, they're both full of lunatics.
Oh, we've got our work cut out for us. Make no mistake about that. We have to organise. People will need things, food, fuel. If they don't get them, they'll turn.
True. People won't stick with us if they're cold and hungry.
Well, people are already starting to gather outside. Or they're asking about bread.
What did you say?
I told them to hold their wished we're only getting started.
Good man.
You won't wait forever.
John.
I'm thinking. Permits.
What about them?
It's a Suppose we play these fuckers at their own game.
What you mean?
Well, they're not the only one that can issue permits.
Go on.
We close places down, right?
Yeah.
Well, we can open them up again just as easily, but on our terms. Someone write this down. Working for the strike committee.
Working for...
No, wait. Working under the authority of the Limerick Strike Committee.
Yeah, that's good.
Francis! Take that down to Carl Martin. Oh, and tell them to print 50 of them on cardboard. No, wait, make it 100. And as soon as they're done, take one over to Cruises and give it to the manager. We better make sure the mayor gets his breakfast. Bring the rest back here. We'll let the bakeries and the butchers and a handful of shops open for an hour each day.
Well, what if they start overcharging?
Yeah, he's right, John. They're bound to try and exploit the situation.
We'll make a list of prices for bread, milk, butter. Fair prices, mind. We'll print that too. Stick them up around the town.
How much is a loaf of bread?
Well, ask the girls in the basement. We need to form committees, a full committee, a fuel one. They'll issue the permits.
Brilliant. People come to us, not the military.
From now on, nothing moves in this town with us knowing about it. No cart rolls, no ship sails, a duck won't quack, or a dog shit without our say-so.
Brilliant.
Propaganda. We'll have to let the world know what we're at.
True. Well, we'll form a propaganda committee.
Why don't we print our own paper?
Why not? I'll write to Congress. If this thing's to work, it needs national support. Jesus, maybe a national strike. If we could get the whole country out, anything could happen. Lads, I'm not sure how this started, and I've no idea how it'll finish up. But by Jesus, while it's on, we'll give the Brits a run for their fucking money.
Blackout. In the dark, the following is projected on a wall. The strike is in every way complete, and it looks as if there is a possibility of a fierce struggle between organised labour and the government. Irish Independent, 15th of April, 1919. Part 2, the committee room. A couple of days later, Cronin, Casey and the others are seated at the table. Ruth Russell stands before them.
Chicago.
That's right.
Do you know Jeremiah Considine?
Jeremiah?
Considine, he's a fireman in Chicago.
Can't say that I do.
He's in Boston. Jeremiah's in Boston. His Finbar Constantine's in Chicago.
He's in Philadelphia.
He's not.
He is. Didn't I get a Christmas card off him?
What did you hear?
Oh, the air race.
Ah, Major Woods and his famous flying machine.
I was covering the air race for the Chicago Tribune.
Yeah, you're not the only one. There's newspaper men here from all over. Do you know Mr. Morris?
From the Associated Press, yes.
750 newspapers he writes for in America. He's, what you call it?
Syndicated.
Syndicated. The whole world knows about us.
Sure. Since Major Wood ditched his plane in the sea, your little Soviet is the only show in town.
Not a show.
Well, you fellas are the main attraction. I gotta say, a Soviet in Holy Catholic Ireland is not what I was expecting. I'm sure my readers would love to know all about it.
But we have a propaganda committee, and they meet every evening. They meet with the press at 5. Sure, you'd be welcome to come back then.
I'm here now.
How do we know you're not from Dublin Castle?
Or Scotland Yard.
Do I sound like I'm from Scotland Yard?
No.
Well then.
What do you want to know?
Is this really a Soviet?
Yes, ma'am. It's a workers' committee in charge of the whole shebang. It was the Irish Times called us that, but we'll not deny it.
Why?
Why what?
Form a Soviet.
Why do we pit people's rule against military rule?
Yes.
Well, as workers, we're against all military. But our particular grievance against the British military is this. When the town was unjustly proclaimed, the cordon was drawn to leave out factories that lie beyond the bridge.
Cleves and the distillery.
That's right.
You've done your homework.
We were expected to ask the soldiers for permits to earn our daily bread.
In our own town.
Now, we're not willing to do that.
Sure.
You can see for yourself, ma'am, how we've thrown a crank into production.
Crank into production. That's good.
Some activities we permit, bakers and butchers can work.
Under our orders.
But the kept press is silenced.
Kept press is good.
We have our own paper now. James.
The Workers' Bulletin.
Produced by the Limerick proletariat.
Impressive.
And here's something you should write about. The food we distribute, it's half the price it was last week.
How does that work?
The farmers deliver their eggs, milk, butter to us. We sell direct to the people.
Now, we've 4 different depots set up around town. Bread, not profit, that's our motto. Next week we print our own money.
Excuse me?
James.
Well, people are going to find out sooner or later, John. We aim to print our own money, ma'am. There'll be 1 shilling, 5 shilling, and 10.
Whoa. Back up the horses. Money, how?
Well, we have our own printers.
Yes, but backed by what? You can't just float your own currency. Do you fellas have a gold reserve that no one knows about?
No. All we have is the good name of the workers of Limerick. But that's good enough for most people.
And we've the world of food donated by farmers, and we've the promise of money. Well, we're better off than you think.
About half the workers are affiliated to English unions. They'll be entitled to strike pay. There'll be money flowing in from England and from Dublin. Till then, we'll issue our own notes. There's widespread support among workers in England.
Even in the army. A whole Scottish regiment had to be sent home for letting workers through without permits.
You fellas seem to have the wind behind you.
Well, for now, anyway.
Tomorrow, the Trade Union Congress will move its headquarters from Dublin down here. If the army don't back down, there'll be a national strike.
Wow.
Jesus, James!
She seems like a nice woman.
Is that true? About the national strike?
Hopefully. In the next day or two, all Ireland will be doing what Limerick is doing today.
Look, it's been promised. Tom Johnson, the Congress Treasurer, is already down here.
You boys have really stirred up a hornet's nest.
That's what we hope. It's a long shot, but it's never been tried before. Taking on an empire without firing a bullet. But maybe after all the fighting, it's Labour's turn now.
Well, I wish you luck, gentlemen, and I'm grateful for your time.
Not a bother. You need anything else? Sure, just let us know.
Actually, there is something.
Yeah, go on.
I know that the bars are shut and everything, but is there anywhere around here a girl could get a Bloody Mary?
Bloody what?
Mary. It's vodka and tomato juice. Actually, forget the tomato juice. Please. Comrades?
What hotel are you in?
The National.
We'll send round a permit. But for Jesus' sake, don't print that.
Mum's the word. One last question. Are you guys communists?
No, ma'am. We just got fed up being pushed around.
Blackout. In the dark, the following is projected on a wall. The leadership mean to win. It certainly seems as if the workers of Ireland are with them. I've witnessed many strikes in England, but never one bearing any resemblance to this. Daily Express, 22nd of April, 1919. Part 3. The committee room as before, a couple of days later, the table still scattered with proclamations, letters and pamphlets.
Evacuate.
Yes?
The whole city.
That's what they're proposing.
Everyone.
Every man, woman and child.
Sure, that's nearly 40,000 people.
I know.
And to go where?
To be housed by workers' families all around the country. They claim to have a plan.
And they're serious.
Deadly.
Gobshites.
Well, that's one way of describing them.
Fucking Jackie gobshites.
Well, that's another way.
Sure, I mean, that's totally impractical. Even if we wanted to do it.
That's what I said.
And what did Johnson say?
Moral force, Congress thinks, is the way to force the army to back off. A grand gesture seen round the world.
So we're in the middle of a grand gesture, and it's been seen all around the world, moral force. What more moral force can there be than 14,000 workers flatly refusing to do the army's bidding? Jesus. And what about the national strike?
Not happening.
But the railway workers, they're all said to come out. Others will follow.
They've been told not to.
By who?
Dublin.
Bastards. They told us one thing, but they were plotting something else all along.
It's not that simple.
How so?
They've been talking about in Dublin, apparently. Congress have been trying to get Sinn Féin on board. They've been in and out of Dáil for the past 3 days, but no go. Not this time. The Shinners won't back an all-out strike.
Why?
They're afraid Labour will steal their thunder.
So we're on the same fucking side.
And this is Ireland, James. There's always loads of sides.
And who's in charge down here? We are. Labour. And what are we doing? Well, we're standing up to the might of the British Empire, that's what. Jesus, could anything be more Republican? What more do they feckin' want?
It's more complex than that.
That complex, my whole fuck 'em. We should go it alone.
Congress hasn't the stomach for that. Or the guns.
Guns?
London wouldn't stand for a national strike. Here is one thing, but not all over. The army, they'd be down on us like a ton of bricks. Not like them Scottish lads turning the other way.
No, but so what?
There'd be confrontations, riots, bloodshed for sure.
So what are we supposed to do? Stay on strike forever?
Gets worse.
How's that possible?
The word is out, we're on our own.
So?
The mayor, the bishop and the Chamber of Commerce have started talks with General Griffin.
Oh, fuck's sake. Our own people.
They're not. I didn't see the bishop handing out food.
How will this end?
Like most things. We'll get off our high horse and realise it was a donkey all along.
This could have been something. This could have really been something.
Blackout. In the dark, the following is projected on a wall. I wish to state that neither his lordship nor the clergy were consulted before the strike was declared, and they were teetotally opposed to its continuance. Reverend Father W. Dwan, Administrator, St. Michael's Parish, April 1919. Part 4. The committee room. A few days later, Cronin is slumped in a chair at one end of the table with the typewriter in front of him.
The plane's not coming. The plane, it's not coming. The Shamrock, Major Woods, Captain Wiley.
No.
Crashed it did, before it even got here, into the sea. No more, vroom, butta. Atlantic flight biffed. That's what the Major said. I read it in the Independent. What does biffed mean?
I don't know. Banjaxed, I suppose.
Banjax. After all the excitement, is the strike over?
Yeah.
Banjax. After all the excitement. I got a letter from my mother. She's not coming back, so I have to go off with the nuns.
None to look after.
It won't be the same though. No more vroom, putta. Banjo.
Can you read?
Of course. Whereas for the past fortnight, the workers have entered an emphatic and dignified protest against the military tyranny, and have loyally obeyed the orders of the strike committee, we have decided to call upon the workers to resume work on Monday morning. We take this opportunity of returning our thanks to every class of the community for the help tendered during the strike.
Do me a favour. Here's a shilling. Take that down to Cormac and get 100 of them printed up.
To the sound of the soldiers closing in, the old and the young, and our comrades safe within. Too long, beaten down, and barely thrown across, but the tide that we feared will finally turn for us. From the treaty stone to kingdom come, a red sky dawns. For everyone we'll break their thrones. Hear us shout, we'll strike and march together, chase the kings and tyrants out. Freedom's soul will rise again as we extol the rights of men and women bold, who know damn well we'll strike for bread, not profit, send them crying back to hell. But now that we stand in our thousands here as one, alone we are small, but together we are strong. We sacrificed so many in Verdun and in the Somme. Now they turn their guns upon us. There must be something wrong. From the treaty stone to kingdom come, a red sky dawns. For everyone will break their thrones. Hear us shout, we'll strike and march together, chase the kings and tyrants out. Freedom's soul will rise again as we extol the rights of men and women bold, who know damn well we'll strike for bread, not profit, send them riding back to hell.
Let no man tell you what you're worth, let no man bind your hands. Let no man tell you when to work, let no man take your land. We stand before the factory gate, the workers set apart. What man has wrought together, God nothing can tear apart.
Let God,
nor Pope, nor royal tell you when to spend your coin. Gave to Caesar what was Caesar's, but dear Caesar's dead and gone. And in his place 1,000 more demand your golden blood. But heed no more their wanton threats, our time begets a flood.
From the treaty stone to kingdom come, a red sky dawns. For everyone will break their thrones. Hear us shout, we'll strike and march together, chase the kings and tyrants out. Freedom's soul will rise again as we extol the rights of men and women bold, who know that well.
Big head up.